I was thinking that Stockholm is a typical island place, of course, lots of islands and boats along the quays and so on. And I'm kind of into these old like metal, like tugboats and old iron made boats. I don't even know how to say that in English. But still, because they are so, I don't know, they're heavy, they're work boats. I kind of like that. And for this one, Öring, I sort of just like the style of it. And I'm just going to start. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much, I mean, boats are kind of complicated, I think, at least, in the same way that kind of, I don't know, the cars are, because they, especially these old, like rounded shapes everywhere, like they have their own perspective rules, I think. Of course they don't, but I sort of suspect they do anyway. So, yeah.
Can you say more about the boat perspective rules?
I think, well, it's kind of, boats are never boxy. They kind of don't, they're hard to put into a box, sort of. And so that makes them kind of, I don't know, to me a bit fishy. So what I do is I just kind of, in this one, for example, I probably use this part as like a sort of measuring tool. So I'm thinking this whole boat is like 3 lengths of that, sort of. And I go from there and then I just compare. And so I can't really use any like, like with the buildings, you can use perspective lines. You can think 1-point perspective or 2-point perspective, or you can, there are lots of tricks to that. But with these, I just kind of find one thing that I think I can measure from and then just go for it. And I usually end up making a lot of mistakes, and that's fine, I think. Because probably I'll be the one who sees them most.
That is so true.
At least if I get to finish the sketch, I'll be the one who sees the mistakes. Which is also why sorry.
No, it's your demo. I'm just like background chatter. You say what you meant to say.
No, I was just gonna say that I draw in ink because it's faster and because I tend to fuss a lot with details. I fuss a lot with details anyway, because I like details, but if I do it in like, I start with pencil, I start working on, I don't know, getting it right somehow. And that takes even more time and it takes more like, I never finish things. It's like annoying. So I tend to go for it with an ink pen at once.
And we have to ask, what pen are you using?
This is a Twsby Eco because it's you can fit a lot of ink to it, so I don't have to refill it very much or very often. And then on it is a fude nib. Don't know how the focus is here, but it's one of those bent nibs that if you, many people know this already, of course, but if you hold the pen upright, you'll get thinner lines, and if you lean it or hold it at an angle, you'll get broad lines, which is really good when you're sketching. And sometimes you get surprises because you don't control your pen. So it's like, oops, a thick line, and then you have to sort of solve that problem, which is kind of interesting, I think. So if for this window here, if I want to fill it, I just use the pen at an angle, and then you can sort of fill areas pretty quickly, which is nice.
That's so juicy.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah.
So did you swap the nib from another
Yeah,
pen?
yeah. So there's you can order these online for Twsby Eco, and it works really nice.
Cool.
Yeah. So I had it for, I don't know, a year, 2 years, not sure. And I find I'm using it kind of all the time, more or less, more and more. So, yeah. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of enjoy drawing things where I'm not sure what I'm drawing. So like on this roof here, I can see that there's like a mast or I don't know what that is in English. It's kind of a thing with some gear on it, I guess, radio antennas, and there's a lantern, and there's I don't know. But I actually don't know what it is. And I kind of enjoy that because you can sort of relax and just, yeah, there's a lump here, and there's a lump here. I don't even know what it is, but it doesn't matter. As long as it's kind of there, it's nice. I like that.
And I mean, sometimes you have to draw something to start understanding it as
Yeah.
well. I mean,
Yeah.
the mechanics and the structure of a boat will remain elusive to me, even if I draw it.
Yeah,
But
me too.
you kind of, yeah, you start to get closer to understanding it through drawing, I suspect.
Yeah.
Well put.
For sure. And also, like, I think it's nice, like, when you're out as an urban sketcher, if you don't know what you're drawing, someone will probably come by and tell you what you're drawing. And that's kind of nice too, actually. Like, I've had that happen a number of times. It's like, oh yeah, that's blah blah. My dad used to work on those. It's like, okay, what is it for? And then you get an explanation. That's nice, I think. So I'm in this one, I'm gonna like maybe spend some time on this boat in the foreground. Maybe not spend so much time on the other boat because it's back there anyway. So I'm thinking maybe we can sort of simplify that one a lot.
Nina, I'm just reading you some compliments you're receiving from the chat room by
Okay.
Sohita, who's telling you, Nina, just listening to you while I draw slows me down in a good way. And Koshe agrees. Isn't that nice?
That is so nice. Thank
Yeah.
you, Sohita.
Your work is so deliberate. It inspires me to slow down too.
Oh, good. Oh, good. I don't know. Is that good?
Yeah.
But I kind of like, I like drawing slow, at least for the big shapes. I kind of get a, I don't know, sort of the right shape on something at least. And then I go from there and just keep drawing, comparing things along the way, I guess. Oh, there's a, I don't even, there are boys of funny shapes hanging on this. Don't even know what those are, really.
Oh, the big balloon things on the side.
Mm.
Yeah, I think we'd call those fenders.
Ah, okay, good. No, yeah, you're right. The boy is like back there out in the water, right?
Yeah,
Or
Ah.
yeah, okay.
similar concept.
See, we're already learning ship vocabulary. I didn't know that.
I think, yeah, fenders is the same word in Swedish, basically, so that's probably right.
But fender is also something on a car, right?
Yeah,
Mm.
I don't know what it is on a car, but it's something on a car.
I know about fender benders, but I think we usually call it a bumper.
Mm.
Like I've never heard it like, oh, my fender got.
Maybe it's another like thing that one is English and the other is American, because I
Mm,
get confused
yeah.
with that so much.
Oh yeah, me too.
I feel
You
like it used
do?
to be called fender more, and now, Elliot, it is called bumper.
Mm-hmm.
A bumper.
All right, these are cool. I find that if you walk around the quays here in Stockholm, is quay the right word even? Like for this?
I know
Yeah.
exactly what you mean because in German it's the same word.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Like the little islands.
Mm-hmm.
that
Oh
you-
no, then it's something else you meant. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, no, but anyway, if you walk along where all the boats are in Stockholm, to make it simple,
Mhm.
you find all these things like this boat, for instance, has a a line out here which goes out over someone else's line. Oh wow, I'm shaky. Anyway, and it makes me think that boat people probably help each other out a lot. That's what I'm thinking. Because they're so close together, like these boats, and they have to like lay lines around each other's lines, and they have to sometimes step over other people's boats to get to their own boat. That's not unusual, which is kind of cool. And again, here on the roof here, I have no idea what that is. There's some stuff up here. I don't know what it is. Shapes, I guess. And it's funny with these like old boats in Stockholm, old tugboats especially, but even other boats. You can find boat nerds online who have like found like old archive things about these boats. So you can probably, I haven't checked, but you can probably find this one online with like a bit of history and what it was used for and who owned it. And, you know, I kind of like that.
I really like how your drawing just like grows organically.
I'm sorry, how I'm drawing.
No, I feel like you're drawing like it starts at one point and then like it
Mhm.
grows organically and gets bigger.
Aha,
But
okay.
like
Right.
I'm so used nowadays to because I don't work that much with line anymore, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm always like trying to like first put a big shape down and then define it later and save the
Mm-hmm.
details for last, but you don't really
Yeah.
seem to distinguish that way, right? Or do you?
I
Do
I
you?
wish I did sometimes because I think like I really really admire your way of working, like with shapes, big shapes and colors, and I've I quite enjoy it, like starting with like a shape in a color or several shapes, like you start sort of, I don't know, spreading it around the page, and then you have to sort of place your subject wherever it kind of fits in those shapes. I like that.
Mhm.
Um, but I don't do it that often myself. But it's good fun, and it's really I enjoy that way of working. But I also very much like lines. I like
Yeah.
that, and I like how, because I use paint afterwards, it's not that big of a deal if some lines are wrong. Doesn't matter that much because you can usually kind of save it with the colors anyway. So
Yeah. But I mean, using using the expression saving something in your drawing is a bit far-fetched in my opinion, because
yeah.
like to me you're one of those people who are like these line drawing machines who don't make
Oh,
mistakes.
really?
It feels like you're just like producing blueprints over there.
I don't feel that way myself.
Yeah.
But thank you. Uh, because I really like lines. I think it's fun. Mm, it's like laying a puzzle, sort of. And you'll see if it fits at the end. That's kind of interesting, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm not gonna put that much effort in this one. There's a thing here at the front of this. There's something standing on the. I'll just draw that. Like a boxy thing. Not sure what it is.
Mm.
Some electrical gear, maybe. Not sure.
I'm zooming in.
Yeah, yeah. Good idea.
Mm.
Anyway, what I usually do, like these two made this first boat, ring, by the way, is a sort of fish in Swedish.
Mm. Ah, it's a herring, right?
Um,
Or not?
I think it is sort of, and now any fisherman would laugh when I say this because I don't know much about fish, but I think it's kind of related to salmon, but
Okay.
I
I'm
know you can,
Googling this. Ah, it's a
yeah,
trout. It's a trout.
trout, okay. But isn't that
Brown
kind of
trout.
related to salmon somehow?
Yeah.
Like of the same family or something? I'm not sure. Anyway, they are delicious. Anyway, don't know if this boat was used for fishing also, but it was a tugboat. I know that much about it, but not much else. Okay, and so from here I would probably, yeah, maybe draw some boards here because why not? But not that many. And for the background, I love pushing it back sort of with a gray pen. just going to draw a few of these. I wish there would have been more people in these, like closer up to the boats. That would have been fun. Anyway, for the background, like this is like in this island where these boats are like smack middle of Stockholm, you could say. So, and over there to the left is like the posh part of town. And I mean, there are boats everywhere in this area, but I'll simplify the rest of them, I think. And back, like the big building here above the boat, like this one, is a huge museum at Djurgården, which is where lots of museums are, and an amusement park and stuff like that, and big park areas. So it's kind of nice. And this one is the Nordic Museum. And it's so cool because it's such a huge building and it's so small here. It's kind of just back there.
Yeah, like that little church or something. The silhouettes in the background.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
apparently, sorry for
sorry?
interrupting. We're having
Yeah.
some sound issues. Apparently, no one can hear me.
I can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, but no one else.
No, I can
No.
hear you too.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like a big group of people that
can hear
cannot
you.
hear me.
Can hear
All right.
you.
Okay. Thanks for letting me try that out.
Sure.
Okay. Maybe weird. Maybe it was the co-host thing or something.
Pusha said she installed a new version of Zoom and then it worked. So weird.
Oh my God. Yeah. See, 3 years of doing this on Zoom and we still managed to not understand it.
Well, it's Zoom's fault this time.
Yes. Kosha said, it's not you, Jenny, it's Zoom. It sounds like I'm breaking up with Zoom or something.
Maybe we should.
Mm. Yeah.
Ooh,
Okay, just a heads up where we are time-wise. That was 22 minutes of sketching so far.
Oh, sorry. I'm slow.
No,
no.
we're disrupting you all the time as well. We're like, tell us what this nib is. What did you do to that nib? How do you
Right.
make these drawings? Tell us all. What is an öring?
Yeah, you're perfectly fine on time. Do not worry.
Oh, good.
A lot of questions about your bent nib fountain pen, but we can ask you that maybe in the next drawing.
Sure.
And then what's your thought process behind your watercolor edition process?
I try to work the big brush because again, I'm not very fast at sketching, and I don't see any reason why I would have to be quick, because I think it's really, at least when you're out drawing, it's really interesting to just, let it take time. Well, because why not? But for now, for color, I like to like sort of hurry up with a big brush because I don't know, it takes forever otherwise.
Slow drawing, fast painting.
Yeah, if I manage, I try to do that. And with the big brush, you can like, you don't fuss too much about details.
Very true.
Sorry, I just wait.
It's all right.
I just realized I'm not outdoors. I can't just flick the paintbrush. I have to get some paper. That is so handy when you're out. You can just like get rid of paint on the asphalt or something.
Oh yeah. For your pants.
Yeah, why not? But I'm wearing these for work tomorrow, so maybe not. But yeah. So I think water is kind of difficult because we have, I don't know about you guys, but I think many people have like a lot of, I don't know what to call it in English, like we think we know how water looks. And then when you look at it, it doesn't look that way, if you know what I mean. So I'm thinking, yeah, like in this case, there should be like a mirroring of the boat, like a reflection, like it was in the Greenland image. That was a clear reflection of the boat. And here, there isn't. It's just dark. And it's often like that among big boats, I think.
It's crazy how different reflections can look like.
Yeah.
And there's not just one rule we can simply follow, which would be nice. But yeah, once again, there's no recipe, and we just have to really, really look and study what's actually happening there.
Yeah, there's some patterns you can learn, but
Yeah.
lighting, the wind, it's always different.
You mixed your own dark shade there?
Yeah, I did. I always do.
Yeah. Probably no black in your watercolor box, I assume.
There isn't actually. I'm not, I mean, there are many people are super traditional with watercolors. I'm not actually, but I don't think it's, I think blacks and greens are kind of better off mixed, I find.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, I'm not gonna do too much on this now because we are gonna draw some more stuff, I guess. But what I would do with this one is like, if you look at the street view image, it's like starts up light blue up here and gets really dark under the boat. So kind of a, how do you say, like a gradient? And then from there, I would let it dry, which we probably won't have time with now, but I would let it dry and then go over with like another layer with, because there are, of course, some wave patterns and stuff in there. But for starters, I would do just a gradient, I think.
I think it's also like such an interesting detail that you hold your watercolor pad at an angle so that the
Yeah,
that it
because
flows
gravity.
downwards.
Gravity
Gravity.
helps you, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
and that's just like such a tiny detail to do. Like that's 2 degrees or something, but it changes the entire image.
Yeah, I think it does. And I'm thinking for the lines and stuff, I paint over them now because you can do that like with a uh, gel pen, white or something else, or like colored pencil or something on top of this when it's dry. So I don't worry too much about those.
We also have the obligatory question from the chat. What kind of
Mhm.
paper and brush are you using?
The paper is a Stillman Birn sketchbook Alpha series, which I enjoy. It's not really watercolor paper, but it can take a lot of watercolor and layers and stuff. And I don't know, it suits my way of working, I guess.
Mhm.
Even though it's not the thickest paper and so on. And then the brush is not what I typically use. It's one that I have in the studio. I think it's a Winsor & Newton, like,
It's a synthetic one. I have it too.
yeah, it's like a Sable wannabe, sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I quite like it. It's good.
I like that one too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so these would be my basic layers, and then from here, I mean, that it depends on how much time you have, like how much
Yeah.
time can I put into this. But now I would be, if I was out drawing this, I would be safe to go home now because I know what the Nordic Museum looked like, the Vasa Museum back here with its red little moss and then a lot of greenery in a slightly blue shade because it's way back there. And yeah, so I think possibly I've captured the most important stuff on the boats at least. Yeah.
I actually also love it like this because what I think you're also a master at is like painting some areas of your painting, but not necessarily all of them.
Mm-hmm. I quite
And
like
like,
that.
yeah. And I really like the kind of the white spaces you've left. I kind of love it how it is right now as well.
Good.
And I think the wash for the water is so nice. How you really started super light at the top and then went in with a quite dark wash.
Mm-hmm.
That was very brave. I struggle with
And
watercolor gradients.
but I still think like here needs to be much darker, both the boat and the water, but that needs to wait. Like that's for later, of course, because it's gonna bloom if I start doing anything there now. So I'd wait for a bit.
Awesome.
So yeah. Do you want to get on with the other
if you are
views?
if you're happy to leave this like that, I think it's amazing.
Sure.
I think it's a beautiful image. And
Thank you.
I think we're a bit like above 30 minutes now, so that's great.
Yeah.
And we can
It's time
continue
to move on. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Nina.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Nina.